Alright. I'm back. I really need to think of a better way to start these recordings than just saying, okay, I'm back. Nothing really wrong with it. It just sounds kind of, I don't know, boring, I guess. At least to me. I don't know about you guys, but when I say that, I always feel like I'm at a loss for words, and I don't like that. But anyway, moving on. Go ahead and click Windows Media so that I can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay. So, we went to the other side of the world, somehow, and now we're going to fight these soldiers here, so the Zelu soldiers can get through. And they automatically think we're with Marion. How they come to this conclusion, I'll never know, but whatever. But anyway, we fight as some soldiers. Unlike the ones in Zalagoon, however, these are fairly weak, as you're gonna soon see. Pathetically weak, actually. Not only do they have less hit points, but they do considerably less damage, which is awesome. Also, the archers are actually stronger than the swordsmen, for some reason. One would think the swordsmen would have more damage, but... okay, well, they do more damage, but they take longer to kill, which is weird. That's really weird, because if you go after the swordsman first, you can kill them rather quick. And then you only have the weak archer to deal with, which is pretty weird. But yeah, this fight, pretty simple to win. The Bandore soldiers really aren't that tough to deal with. I remember them being tougher, personally. Ooh, we got Undyne! We got Undyne! Undyne is pretty and awesome, and I freaking love it. And I'm gonna show off that skill right now. In this fight. This time we fight 4 of the soldiers, but don't be fooled. One of them has boss status, and they don't tell you which one it is, so you gotta get rid of the weaklings to find out. Not that this is hard to do, mind you. I guarantee it's one of the archers, though. Now, doesn't that look pretty and powerful and awesome? I'm sure you'll agree. Yeah, since it's an archer, we pretty much have shown that to be the case. Though, its attack is much lower than the other archers, which makes this pretty simple to actually beat. It's also much slower. So this is pretty abusable. And I'm not even going to bother using attack magic. I'm just going to boost my attackers, since there's only one person out there, and magic isn't really needed in this fight, because you're hardly even touched, like, for the majority of it. I mean, there's only one enemy here, and the damage he throws out is beyond pathetic. Are you starting to see what I mean about how the damage is stupid on these bosses? I mean, I can understand where they were going with this, but there is a certain lack of creativity with the bosses now. Water Demon and Glade at least looked different, and they actually posed a little bit of a challenge. This guy... okay, his attack is pretty good, I guess. But that's all he really does, and it's not like you can't heal that. I think that's another minor problem I have with this game, is that the game's balancing is pretty bad. The game's either really hard, usually, or really easy. but they were kind of basing this off the old Dragon Quest format. And if you know what that was like, then Dragon Quest was kind of the same way. Some parts of Dragon Quest were really easy and some were just absurdly hard. Though, I think this game didn't know how to pace it very well, unlike Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest pacing was actually very good. I'm trying to think of a good example here. With the exclusion of maybe Dragon Quest 2, the rest of the Dragon Quest games knew how to add the really challenging parts and when to make the game easier. I know of a good example. The Green Dragon in Dragon Quest 1. That boss was absurdly hard the moment it's actually available, which is when you can first buy keys. If you fought it right away, you would die, like, right away, because there's no way you could win. But the game did give you opportunity to level up in different areas so that you could prepare better to fight it. And it wasn't technically a storyline boss, so you never had to fight it anyway. It was a side quest. Mind you, it's hard to win at the game without doing it, because you have to rescue the princess in order to get the item you need to find the token very easily. Otherwise, you're going to be searching in a swamp forever. And who wants to do that? But, there's that. I won't say I'm really bothered that much by the pacing in this game, because it is something you can get used to. It's just something you have to deal with, much like Samson's Curse. But yeah, we just beat the soldiers. You know, if all the soldiers that were guarding it were 6 soldiers, why were the Zalagoon soldiers having such a hard time? And why are they only sending like 8 Zalagoon soldiers to fight this army? I don't know, I was thinking maybe 100, 200, like at least 100 soldiers. I know he can't spare the entire army at the moment, but still, 8 soldiers? That's pretty chintzy, man. I mean, we went through a lot to get Zalagoon's assistance. I feel gypped. Like, big time here. As a matter of fact, as you're gonna find out, we do, like, a much better job at, freeing Marion than the soldiers are. Yeah, no wonder they're getting murdered. Yeah, you can go to the shops if you want to, but Bandore is still running it. So, yeah, you won't get anything accomplished there. Our destination is the castle. I do have some news to report on, but I think I'm gonna wait till after the big cutscene. Let me look at the time. Oh, we're only 8 minutes in. Jeez. Well, I can talk about it a little bit. I was planning on setting up a time to actually stream, or start a stream, for, I think, a couple weeks down the road. And I was gonna, like, stream something like .hack or something that a lot of people have been wanting me to actually do. So, I was gonna do that, and just start kind of a news thing with my streams. So I wanted to do it as much in the videos themselves. But I can't do that because my computer, as it turns out, hates the idea of streaming. If I try to actually do it anyway, then the computer will blue screen. Usually after about 7 minutes. Because the processor on it is an AMD, like E140 something, I forget, but it is a very weak processor, so weak in fact, from what I've heard, this is the processor that usually goes in laptops. Mine is a $200 desktop, so yeah, my friend was very shocked to actually hear that. Yeah, it's only $200, but he was still kind of expecting a bit better than that. So I'm gonna have to probably postpone the stream, at least for the moment, until I can figure out a way around my blue screen issues. Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm sure that it's not completely obvious, but I want to see something. Ow! Wow. Hey, he went twice. Little jerk. Okay, there's no real way around that. And also, if you haven't noticed, I keep repeating myself, I apologize. The random encounters in this castle are not random encounters, they're fixed. Some of these tiles that you step on are actually alarms that will trigger a fight with soldiers. So, oh yeah, I did forget something in Marion Castle that's really good, and something I should have got. And I might go back for it if I'm allowed to. Oh yeah, the return of Ramu. Because everyone missing her face. And she's torturing someone. Wonderful. Oh great, she's cursing another person now? Jeez, I hope he doesn't join my party. Though he looks pretty cool. Well, with the silver armor and silver robe and whatnot. Very Dark Knight-ish and very Arthurian. Of course, we have Ramu's typical tactics. Now, as you're gonna find out, this battle has boss music playing, but don't worry, this fight is really very, very simple. As a matter of fact, all it is a surprise peek at enemies you're gonna be facing in the exact next area. Yep, that's it. This battle will go down very fast. The only thing that the evil summoner has going for him is that he's fast, but his spells are nothing special, so don't worry about him. You're not really going to see an upgrade in spellcasting for quite a while, actually. Enemies aren't exactly that special either. I don't think any enemy will have more than, I think, 70 or 80 HP. Though there is one enemy later on that is kind of a pain to kill, but I'll get into that later. We got a steel key, if I read that right, so we can go to the other tower and lock the door. What will we find inside of it? The king, of course. Because, you know, they randomly enslave kings and towers. I am very interested at how they gave the King of Marion his own special portrait. Especially since you don't see that much of him. It's just another goodie from the creative team. I'm sorry, I know I keep talking about it, but I can't help it. Even if the character is very minor and isn't really used, then you wouldn't think that they'd get bother really working on a portrait for him, but yeah, they did. I mean, you see more of him than most NPCs, but still, it's not like he's overly used, and he only gets, I think, 2 scenes. So, yeah. Wait, 3. I forgot the ending, but that's still only, like, what, 3 scenes out of, like, a 70-hour game? I mean, that's still not that much, so I'm still surprised they did it. Also, we are almost done with Marion, actually. Going through Marion is not that long. Granted, neither was Zalagoon, but at least Zalagoon had a boss. I don't even think Marion has that. So, it's really easily solved, as long as you know where to go. If you don't know to go outside and get the key, you could be stuck in here a while. Because they don't exactly give it away that you need a key to progress, so you have to do a little searching. But if you know that, then this place is very short. And Bandore likes to cheat, apparently. Oh well. Then we can take him. Bring it on. Hey! Cowards. And yeah, a pretty huge plot scene is coming up, so I won't probably talk anymore for a little bit. Though I will say a few things about it. This is probably the part of the game that most people like, since it not only introduces new characters, but it also is one of the ones that actually continues the plot. Most of what I've been doing is backtracking for a lot of this, so for the last 2 videos, that's what I've been doing. But this is a video where I actually progress somewhere. So that's pretty interesting. And for once in the entire game, we see the Emperor of Bandore. Who is this Shutat character? They did a good job making him look all evil and sinister. Lord Shutat is supposedly his right-hand man and the leader of all his generals. And he's also in control of some very powerful magic that most people can't even use, with the exception of one other person, and that's Reimu herself. Though there is a catch-22 to this. I won't spoil it, but one of your characters was able to learn the special magic of the Vicious Ones, but I'm not going to spoil who that is. And here's the man himself. I really love this character as a villain. Oh my god, a villain that actually has a brain. Who would have thought it would be Beyond the Beyond that would have one of those? Oh yeah, and Reimu kind of has a crush on Shutat. Big surprise. Yeah, destroying the main hero might be a good idea, just saying. Why bother? Oh great, you're an idiot like the rest. Is it? It's almost like this character was made to make fun of other villains in other games. Because he's basically pointing out the flaws in just about any other villain in any other major RPG. And I can appreciate that. No, really? Did the evil look not pass you by in the horns? Come on. I mean, I'm sure that's a helmet, but... Yeah, even at this point in the game, those two are still fairly powerful. And they could kill us if they really wanted to. Oh, wow. Didn't think he'd be coming. Yeah, they're kind of surrounded at this point, so they'd be overwhelmed. They also seem to have the power to just, basically make the area all dark around them. Jeez, I wish I could do that. And he follows about the same generic plans that most villains have. Though they do demonstrate their power a little bit. By summoning a huge fireball that decimates everything. Wow, Sir Galahad's pretty fast for an old man. Sorry if I'm talking so much about this, but there is a lot to talk about, since this scene does explain a lot that I have to really explain. Oh, bull crap. It took us forever to get your help. Though he was right about that last part. I'm sorry, this Lagoon thing still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Because considering how close relations these two have, it shouldn't have been that much trouble to get their assistance. Yeah, about that. Yep. And without a commanding officer, Galahad has pretty much got to be nominated for the job since there's really no one else left. And of course everyone's going to agree that he should take the job because, you know, why not? It's not like he has anything better to do. Yep. This part is kind of boring, I'll admit, since they're really just talking about exposition right now. Though this next scene is fairly interesting. I actually really like this scene. It does kind of show that even though Edward has grown a bit, he's still a bit naive, but I kind of like that. It actually shows that he does have flaws, which I always appreciate in games like this. Since I really hate it when they try to make royalty seem kind of perfect in their decision making, and that just bores me to tears most of the time. And now Edward and Simpson leave our party. Kinda sad, but what can you do? It's okay, though. It's not like the enemies around here are tough to fight or anything. Though that will change soon. However, Galahad really doesn't have the power as the commander to stop us. Of course we are. We're the hero. That's our job. This is our story. I know someone's gonna kill me for saying that, but it's kind of the truth. And yeah, he's not gonna, like, boss Annie around anymore. Thank God. And of course, Taunt wants to go with us, too. And with our team in tow, we go get the chest from the treasury, and then go to leave towards Bandore. There is a hidden treasure here that I forget to actually get, but I'll probably try and go back and get it, since it's pretty useful. And where I'm at now, I'm gonna need all the help I can get, because this next part is hard. Hard enough as it is. Plus, they don't really give you a lot of options to help go through it. I was really thinking that Marion, when you liberated it, started selling Mage Potion. This is not the case, actually. So, in order to actually buy it, you have to go all the way back to Ophira or Simone. And you can't buy them in Bandore either. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I might crap out and use Game Shark to get Mage Potion into my item stock, because, well, for all practical purposes, the game is kind of being a dick to me right now. And with the next part I'm going to have to go through, I really don't know if I can actually get through it with the limited items I have. In order to complete it, I'd probably have to run away from everything. Or at least through most of it, because you know that area I was talking about that takes a while to actually go through? I'm there in the next recording. And I have probably at best 10 Mage Potion. Each one gives 20 MP. So I only have 200 extra MP in reserve. That's it. And a lot of these spells are getting kind of pricey, so that's a bit of a problem. Also, the area around Bandore is fire-based, so Fire Drake is almost useless. And Titan isn't much more effective, so that is a really dirty trick, not letting me buy a Mage Potion. I can't really backtrack either, because I think they're going to seal me off from actually leaving the Bandore area. At least that's what I recall. I could be wrong. But I really don't want to trek all the way back across the continent anyway. Oh look, it's Edward and Samson. What, did you think I was going to go through the Bandore area without them? Guess again. They are beyond useful. Of course. What, did you think he was going to say no? I mean, get real. Some soldier you are. Anyway, after I rechange the formation, then we'll be good to go. Now, despite having two of our members back, I'm going to go back to Marion. Because now that Marion is free from Bandore, they have awesome shops. And I almost accidentally used the source of vitality that I've been trying to save for someone else. I do have some good news though. After the next area, which is the Bandore area, we will be getting another mode of transportation, obviously, since Bandore is the last possible area you can get by land. So yeah, awesome. The bad news is, however, is that I don't know if I'm going... I really don't want to cheat to get the Mage Potion because... Yeah, I was going to kind of cheat with the Temple of Auron, but that was only due to recording restraints. But this is just the game being dirty cheap. Because I really seem to remember buying Mage Potion from Bandore. That's very weird, you know. A part of me wants to think that maybe the Mage Potion is being covered up by all the re-buyable items I've sold. I really doubt that's the case, but if it is, then I'm just gonna grind a little bit and buy some of those items back. But don't really depend on that, because I really doubt that's the case at all. In addition, a lot of the stuff I'm going to be buying from the shop is very pricey. Well, actually, not really. There's not that much for me to actually get. Because the stuff from Marion, I could get the rune sword, but I don't want to lose the speed. Because I find speed infinitely more important than attack. Mostly for magic users, too. And selling those different cards and jars and whatnot gives me a lot of money. And this is where I find out that I can't buy a Mage Potion. What a jip. What a jip. Okay, fine, whatever. I can live without Mage Potion for getting to Bandore. But I am still really mad that even Bandore doesn't sell them. I mean, the dungeon there is incredibly long. I mean, come on. I can understand not giving me a Mage Potion for some of the other dungeons throughout the game, but not letting you buy them in Bandore, though, is a huge slap in the face. We already have decided. Oh, by the way, remember what that old man said about Pity Island. It'll be important later. And now we finally can go back to the storage trunk and store some of the items and whatnot. I'm gonna keep the music box on hand, just because. I also remember storing something in the trunk, but when I try to withdraw something, there doesn't seem to be anything there, except for the stuff I just stored. So that's kind of weird. Did I just neglect this thing, or what? Oh well. Now, the storage trunk in this game, unlike the bag in Dragon Quest, is not that useful. Even the storage in Dragon Quest 1 and 2, the remakes, are infinitely more abusable because you will usually find them in more than one location. This game it's very inconvenient. There's only one throughout the whole game, and without the ability to warp for the biggest part of the game, it's not going to see a whole lot of use. Though I will use it a couple of times to store away useless key items due to limited item space. But it's not going to be a huge issue. And look, a Bandore soldier. I see. Well, that would explain why the Emperor still thinks he has a chance. If he has a giant battleship, then he might be able to turn the tables on us. Good thing we're going there right away to keep it from happening. Which, in a sense, maybe Edward's plan may have been the smartest after all. Marion's safety is important, but if you allow him to make the giant battleship, then it's gonna be for naught regardless, so maybe it probably would have been a smart idea to actually, you know, go to the king after hearing about the battleship and telling him about the urgency, and then have him hurry up and send his troops to overwhelm Bandore before they can finish the battleship. Just saying, I mean, that kind of thing should take precedence. Especially if he plans to wipe out Marion, because I'm sure he wants Marion back, but considering how much embarrassment he took when he lost this time around, I'm pretty sure if he conquered Marion again, the people wouldn't really take him very seriously, because they'll probably just say, oh, well, you conquered us once already, and it didn't last, so all we're going to do is hold out for Salogun to save us again. And then he'd probably have to use the battleship to kill everyone for their insolence, leaving not much of a country to rule, so that would be kind of silly. Not that matters in the long run. Healing Potion. You've seen this item before, because bosses have been using them, though they're not that good. I got another source of growth, but I want to save it. Now, while the storyline itself does kind of stall again for a little while, there are a lot of interesting things that'll happen, which I'm going to comment on. I also kind of love how even though Bandore is technically a fire area, some of the enemies are actually weak to fire. Yeah, that's pretty strange. I also especially love how the Harpy family got easier when they upgraded. Sure, the other Harpies couldn't do much other than attack, but at least they weren't weak to fire. Clay Golem. What is a Clay Golem doing in a fire area? Wouldn't he, melt or something? I don't know. Seems kind of weird. But yeah. Oh wow, when Edward kills you, you know you fail at life. I don't know if it would be theoretically possible to survive in the Bandore dungeon area without Mage Potion. I don't know if I've ever tried it, because I usually like to magic spam my way through everything, but this time around I may not be able to do that, and it might make for some very humorous times trying to survive. Because, like I've already spoiled before, the Bandore Kingdom is right next door to a volcano. Yeah, that place is not fun at all. There's some pretty nasty creatures in there, and I'm kind of afraid of them. Especially if I can't really use magic like I normally can. Those places are evil. Oh, and what's this? The mystic fungus doesn't do anything. Doesn't guard, it doesn't attack, it doesn't explode on me like it likes to do. Yeah, it just stood there and did nothing. Huh, very strange that. I wonder if that was a glitch, or what? Oh, and by the way, when I was recording this, the sound on the video started to, well, not so much the sound of the video, but when I was recording it, the sound was going in and out very violently. I don't know if that shows in the recording or not, but if it does, I deeply apologize. There's not really much I can do about it, because I think my RCA cables are going out on me, and that explains why the sound was messing up. I'll try to find new chords, but I don't know if I have any. So that's gonna be kind of annoying. Okay, finally, we see a monster made of fire. What a shock, right? I don't really care about it though, because it's honestly pretty weak. It has one fire attack, but it only hits one person. So yeah, not that dangerous at all. Though you have seen me summon it before, in a very humorous fight. Fire actually did 10. I'm surprised. I know it's from force of habit, but every time Simpson attacks, I'm expecting to see a message saying Samson got hit by the curse. I mean, I know that can't happen anymore, but I'm just so used to that now. I don't know if that'll ever change. Well, it'll change if I ever get him at my party. Which, trust me, I'm looking forward to the day that I can do that. Nothing against Samson or anything, but there are just better characters out there, and I'd love to have one of those right now. Especially for the next area. The next character I'm gonna get is actually really freaking good, for a lot of reasons, which I'm not gonna go into right now. But if you've been paying attention to the plot, you'll probably know who it is, but I'm not going to spoil it regardless. I will say something though. This next part of the game is really freaking boring for me. I mean, it's not really boring, at least not going through the game. But because of what I have to do next, I'm going to have to do a lot of grinding. Because I think I'm at level 21 to 22, and that's not the level I'm going to have to be at for the next area. More like level 26. And when I get the new character, he's gonna come at like level 16. So I will say this right away, I'm going to be doing some cheating in regards to that. I will probably be glitching in some sources of growth so that I can get him up to snuff with everyone else. Because I don't really want to have to go through the kind of grinding that it would take to catch him up with everyone else. That would take like 2 or 3 days of doing nothing but fighting. Ooh, I got fire level 3. I got fire level 3. That's freaking awesome. Because if you remember me ranting before, Edward's spells come at a fairly high level. That doesn't mean they suck, but it still takes him forever to get them. So he's way overdue for a good spell increase. But boy is it awesome. Pay attention to how much damage Fire Drake is doing. 20 to 21 damage, okay. Waiting for Edward's turn here. This is how much Fire Level 3 does. 6 more damage, and it hits everything, not just a group. That is nice, and it only costs 2 more MP than Fire Drake too, which means it's also fairly efficient at low MP cost. And also, at the level they're at, they have a ton of MP, so if I stick to Fire Drake and Fire Level 3, then you really won't have to worry about that much of losing a lot of it. However, because I'm about to go into a fire area, the fire spells won't be doing all that much damage. And that's a major problem. Mind you, that means spells like Ice Level 2 and Undine, which is how you properly pronounce it, is actually fairly good, but they also cost more MP to actually use them. So I won't be using them all that much, because I only have a few mage motion. If worst comes to worst, I'll just have to run from everything like I usually do. It'll hurt my levels a bit if I do that, but I don't see any way around that. Not if I'm going to keep myself from cheating anyway. Which I really don't want to, because one of the best things about my Let's Plays is that I try to play through games doing as little cheating as possible. I do make exceptions sometimes, but it usually has to be something pretty major. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna comment that the whole Bandore area is like the game is trolling you. They put these little canal-like areas in the pathways, just so you have to walk around them, and it is very annoying. Because of how long it takes to get to Bandore, I try to keep from using magic on these things, but they do go down pretty fast, so that's nice. Much to my surprise, I actually killed 2 in 1 turn. And wow, he didn't even hit Edward. Pretty sweet, that. One of my friends was actually complaining that I insist on trying to be a perfectionist with some of these games, particularly with Beyond the Beyond, where I try to be silent during cutscenes, much like Nakatalili tries to. And he says that I don't really need to do that, since a lot of the cutscenes aren't voiced out, and it's not like it would interrupt the action too much. And while I do understand that, the difference is that I think the biggest problem with me is I was afraid to actually talk through most of them, because I was afraid of what I was actually going to say would be spoiling the moment, so to speak. But from what I've been told, that's not really the case in a lot of my videos, so okay. If he says so. Oh goody, 2 of these things. That's just what I want. And these guys sometimes use Summon Level 3. I lucked out, and he summoned a really weak creature from Summon Level 3. But believe me, when you use Summon Level 3, you can sometimes get something really nasty that will use, like, Level 3 spells. and really strong level 2 spells, like Thunder level 2 or Fire level 3. Yeah, it's happened to me before. Usually in the Bandore area. And I admit I kind of lucked out here. He didn't use a group spell, otherwise Samson and Edward probably would have been taken out. Though, it's just worth noting that I'm like right outside the Bandore area. I mean outside, not inside. I fail at speaking. Anyway. I didn't get to talk about as much as I was hoping. Because 50 minutes is not near enough time for that, but that's okay. I'm gonna have plenty to talk about in the next episode, I assure you. That episode is going to be full of fail. Because the next area is probably the second hardest in the game, next to the Temple of Orin. Yeah. They do sell some interesting equipment here, and I do buy all of it. Except for maybe the sword. Yeah, I don't buy the sword, of course. Because I like that speed, darn it. Spike Shield is actually pretty good. It has more defense, and it increases my attack. Which is pretty nice, since I can't get the new sword. The Tempest Sword won't be around forever, though. I will eventually have to upgrade it. So, I'll have to say goodbye to that speed. But that's okay. Things will get better. Yeah, this is about the point when I was recording it that I just got angry and just started complaining and ranting about how this game is completely unfair now. Yeah, it really is. But anyway, I'm about to stop the video, so thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like my stuff, and I will see you guys later. See you later, everyone.